Hey, what up, everybody? I'm doing a oil change on the Cheez-It. The Cheez-It is got, I think I'm at like 7,000 miles or something like that. I don't remember. I think it's like 7,000 miles. Y'all know my Cheez-It I just got not too long ago. But we're about to go to Atlanta, and the life on the oil said 20%. So we're going to change the oil. So I wanted to give y'all a walkthrough. It's not real hard to do if you know how to mechanic skills at all. It's pretty simple. I got these car ramps today. These are freaking nice, actually. 50 bucks from Walmart. Lifted it right up off the ground. Like, okay, I barely can get my fat tummy up under there, but it's way better than trying to get a freaking floor jack under this thing. Because I tried a floor jack when I put my Lambo doors on one of my other videos. I'm sure y'all seen that. So it's a little complicated to get a floor jack up in there because there's not really any lifting spots on the Camaro. So they have these blocks that you're supposed to buy that go onto a floor jack, and you do it that way. But I figure out other ways around it for sure. I used a 2x4 to get to the frame and lift it, and it worked, but it's just kind of sketchy. So I wanted to buy these ramps so that I can continue changing the oil in this thing, because let me tell you what, folks, it's 12 quarts of OW40 race oil. So it's a little on the pricey side. It's 60 bucks for Mobil 1, which is the brand I'm going to be running. The filter was 12 bucks, and then all you have to do is put it on. So let's walk up here and we'll grab our parts real quick. And then I'm going to go into the car and show you just how easy it is. Now mine's still a little warm because I pulled it up on the ramps not too long ago. But then, oh yeah, I need help, Nathan, for sure. Oh, they're holding this heavy box. Yeah. Okay, 12 quarts of oil off of one little bitty pinky finger is a little heavy. Wow. Had that little pinky hole there, and I was like, oh, I'll just carry it that way. Yeah, it was a little heavy. All right, so I'm gonna slide down here and show y'all what we got, see if it's done draining. As y'all know, I live and work off of dirt and grass, so yeah, it's not draining anymore. So you see the clearance this thing has, even with that lifted up? It's not a lot. You really got to squeeze up in here. So what you have is, let me spin the camera. Wow, I don't know if it's gonna film it. Nathan! I'm gonna call my son, let him be the camera holder while I show y'all what to do. And we still got the filter we're gonna pull out. At least the filter, I didn't have to get a tool for it. It's already hand loose like it needs to be. I don't know why mechanics seem to love to torque that joker on. You do not have to do that. It's pretty much gonna be on there. Just get it good and hand tight and let it be. It is a 15, oh, well, it is a 15 millimeter bolt. That is still sitting in the oil pan. Nathan, come here, buddy. Call my son over here and get him to film for me real quick. We can get the oil changed in it, make sure all the fluids are topped off and good. Because she's going to go to Atlanta on Thursday. We're down there for 6 days, 5 days. So I want to get her all freshened up and ready to go. Hey, come hold the camera for me, buddy. Pretty piece. So I can film the oil change. Ta-da! Got it? All right, come on, we're down here in the front. Come down here on this side here, you'll be able to film it better. All right, so what I got to do is find that 15 millimeter bolt that was kind of warm, so I just let her go. So she's down in here somewhere. There we go. Wow. All right, just a 15 millimeter bolt. And you can see there's no metal shavings or anything stuck to the bolt, so that's really good. That means the engine's still good and tight for right this minute. But I do have a heavy foot, so that'll be interesting to see how the oil changes go from now on. But there is a little magnet right there at the end of it, and it is absolutely clean, so that's very good, especially for as hard as I drive. So we're gonna push that out of the way. What? And try to dry up around the port where the bolt goes in. And that pan is still stupid hot, Nathan. I don't like changing oil when it's hot. It burns your hand really bad. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're not cross-threading or stripping anything, because it's very easy to do that. So you just make sure that it turns very freely. And you got all the dirt and grime and stuff clean from around it, because you don't want it all like that. Okay. And you're going to take your 15 millimeter and you're just going to snug it. You don't really torque these things. You just want to snug it good and tight, but you definitely don't torque it. If I can get my ratchet wrench to work and stop fighting me. There we go. You just want to put a little snugness to it. Okay, all right, let me see the phone. Wow, I'm gonna come over at this angle. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. That's the 15 millimeter bolt right there. So that's the easiest way. And then we're gonna swing over this way. And there's your oil filter right there. It's still pretty loose. It still has oil in it, so I'm about to back off and pull that off. But that's what you want to take off too. And I'll show you in a few minutes when I get it off, because there's a oil ring that sits on top of these filters, and sometimes they're bad for sticking to the block. So you got to make sure that when you pull that filter off, the double ring, as it's called, is not left there when you put your new one on, because that'll be a bad day. You lose all your oil, you'll lock up your shit really quick like. So I'm gonna switch you back over here. Let me pause in the camera. Yeah, there you go. I didn't know if it showed it or not. But there's that 15 millimeter bolt that I was telling you about. So you got to make sure the port's clean around it. And you can see it's all nice and clean. There's no trash, no dirt. Make sure it's tight and all that. And then you're good to go. But I like to let mine drain for as long as it can. Get all them bad fluids out. Make sure that you get a good clean oil change. So I'm going to give you back to my son. And I'm going to pull that off right there. You can get a tool and do it. They sell them all over the place. But really and truly, if you change your oil ever yourself, you're never going to need one again, because they don't need to be that tight where you have to use a tool. If you got to use a tool to get it off, it's entirely too dang tight. So I'll switch you over to my son and we'll get that knocked out. Hey, good buddy. Wow. There's like not a lot of breathing room up in here, Nathan. It's a little fat. Yeah. See, I mean, I literally just barely turned that with my hands and it came off. So that is the proper, whoever changed it last, did it the exact way it's supposed to be done. So we're going to let her sit there and drain a little bit so it doesn't make a mess. And that is some very black motor oil. I don't know when it got changed last, because I haven't changed it since I bought it. The mileage I put on it, and it just now said time for an oil change. So I'm not sure when they changed it last, but it is pretty black for what I would consider maybe 3,000 miles, because I'm pretty sure every 3,000 it makes that kick on. But it is a pretty black motor oil for at this minute. I don't even know what brand they got in it neither, but I'm going to run Mobil 1. One of my good friends that I work with highly recommended Mobil 1, so I'm going to take his advice and run that. Yeah, that is still hot stuff, Nathan. Oh no, I got it on the side of my oil pan. It's gonna smoke and stink, Nathan. It's gonna stink. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that does not fit that way. I'm just going to dry it up a little bit, because I do not feel that ring that I was telling you about. So I'm just going to dry it so it doesn't fall out on the phone or anything like that, or when I slide my body up in there to like visually make sure. But that, yeah, it's got to go somewhere different because it doesn't fit. It's like framing out. Wow. There we go. Now I can see it. Alright. You have a phone? Yeah, whee! Y'all like that ride? That was a fun ride. Alright, there we go, right there. So that's where the old filter goes, and there's, sometimes it'll stick. There'll be a little black ring around that circle there where it gets stuck. So you got to make sure you peel it back off before you put your new filter on. So what we're going to do is put a little bit of oil on the new filter, screw that on, and then we're going to throw some oil in this thing. Coming back here, buddy. You got it? Whoa, that caught my belt. Yeah, get that back in place to catch any them little bitty driplets. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's tight up underneath it. All right. Yeah, see that right there, the little black ring? That's what I was telling you about. That's notorious for sticking to the block. On a lot of vehicles, it ain't just this car, it's a lot of vehicles that it'll stick. So what you want to do is just take some fresh oil, run a little bit around it. You can fill some up. Like there's do's and don'ts to filling them up. Some people do, some don't. I don't fill mine like gaping out of the top, but I try to put some in it, and then make sure you put some around this ring here before you put it back in there. I don't know what we're dealing with here, Nathan, because I've never used one of these before. I always use the big pour bottles. This says open me. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this is different. And you cut a hole in the bag. Oh, cool, look. That's fascinating me, matey. So, we're going to push that back down. Okay, I have never dealt with that before. So let's go to the boat. Here, we're going to take it over there to the boat. Wow. Yeah. Let's set it right here. Let's see. Whoa, that just pours right out, y'all. All right, we're going to just put a little bit around this seal. There we go. Open that a little bit more. There we go. All right, that's what you want. Just a little bit. It ain't got to be that much on there. Mine went a little pour happy, but I've never used this style before. All right, so we're gonna let that seep in right there, and then we're gonna come screw it back up into that port, because if you fill this up a whole bunch and you go to screw it on, as you're spinning it, it's just going to put pressure, and the oil is going to come out, get all over this, and it's going to make it really slippery, really hard to put on, as tight as it needs to be. You don't torque it, but you do want it nice and snug, hand tight kind of deal. That's some clean motor oil, not like that black crap that came out of it. I don't know what came out of it. It was not pretty looking, Nathan. Real black. So, Mobile 1 for the Cheez-It car. The Cheez-It car is a M1 114A for the Camaro lifestyle, if I were y'all. Highly recommend Mobile 1 OW40. I got a good friend of mine that recommended it, so I'm going to start trying that brand for this car. I think 40 weight's a little aggressive, but this is the track package, so it's probably why it is a very high performance deal. So, all right, let's put this on. Back under the Cheez-It. Get out of my way. Wow. You don't have to come all the way under, buddy. You're fine. Yeah. Oh, that's heavy. Alright, so all we're going to do is come up in here and try to keep it as level as you possibly can. Have you hand me that rag, please, buddy? Should have been right there on the top. No, man, I got it. I got it. Oh, there's no room for my big old fat body to work on this thing. So you just slowly start working it. That way you don't strip anything and you know what's going on like it's supposed to. And I'm just very slowly turning it so that none of that oil starts spilling back out. You can see nothing's leaking in the video, so it's staying where it's supposed to stay. And I got a little bit of oil on the seal. And I'm gonna go about that tight right there. That's about good and hand tight. You don't want to torque it. That brand new filter is a little slippery. Yep, that'll be good right there. That's good and snug and hand tight. All right, we're going out, Nathan. Ooh, I got dirt in my rims, Nathan. Wow. Look at how dark and black that crap was. Ew, it was not clean motor oil, y'all. Definitely not clean, that's for sure. Yeah. But she's all pretty now, so everything's buttoned up. All you do now is put your oil back in it, check your levels and make sure you're fine. You're good to go.